Hey, welcome back. So last week we talked about budgeting. Well, this week we're actually going to be talking about something just as important. So if you want to know more about international shipping and how you actually get to the point of sending your things here, then I actually have somebody that you really need to talk to. So my friend Pablo is a person who helps ship stuff internationally. So when you want to actually get something from the United States to Costa Rica, and we're talking cars, and we'll get into that in a second, you need to actually have somebody professionally do it. Because if you don't, you're bound to get into problems. So Pablo, would you introduce yourself and what you do?
Yes, of course. Okay, basically what we do is we help, and we are really focused on helping expats who are looking to move abroad. International shipping, there's a lot of different types of international shipping. You may be shipping, electronics. You may be shipping bananas, whatever. But when you're talking about moving abroad, your shipment is considered household goods and personal effects. And the rules and regulations for this particular type of shipment changes completely. For example, if you're proof that you're moving into Costa Rica the way it is right now, you can actually lower the import taxes for a whole lot. The way it is right now.
Okay.
Now, there is a new law that got signed a year ago or so that it's supposed to exonerate the import taxes for 2 vehicles and your household goods. That's not ready yet. It should be ready in the future. But as it is right now, you still have some benefits if you wanted to import your household goods. But with all of that, this process is still very complicated and very bureaucratic. It's not the same for everybody. Everybody has different things, and everything in the shipment has a process. Most household goods has one type of process. And if you end up shipping your perhaps refrigeration equipment, that's a different process that you need to be aware of. It's more expensive, and it may not be worth it.
Right.
If you're shipping vehicles, you need to understand that some vehicles could pay up to 73% on import taxes. So it may not be worth it. It may be better just to buy a vehicle down here. A lot of people think they're saving money.
Right.
Now, there are some cases where it's worth it. So this is why it's important for us to analyze what type of vehicle you're shipping and also where are you shipping from. If you're shipping from Florida, maybe less expensive. If you're shipping from Colorado, it's going to be at least $2,000 more than if you're in Florida. If you're shipping from California, California is very congested, so it becomes very expensive to ship from. Every shipment is a little bit different. So this is why it's important to sit down with a professional. And I'm not saying hire me. I want you to know what questions to ask when you're going into this process. And of course, we appreciate your business if you want to hire us. And we are here, we give free consultation calls. We do about 8 calls a day with all of our customers. We spend about 30 minutes just to explain the process, the rules, the regulations. These are the requirements for your particular shipment. If you have this in the shipment, this is what's going to happen. All of those things, we spend the time and we do that. And I think we're a bit different from most companies because most companies, they're just going to give you a price and hope that you know what you're doing. And I know 90% of the customers that I do business with, they don't know. This is the very first time they move abroad. This is the very first time they do an international move. So we created within our process this over communication approach where we do a consultation call. Then we send a project. Basically, we create a project. We plan for this. We put it in writing. And this is it's long. It's like 18 pages. Not because it's fine print, because it's got big bulk letters in all of those details that we know there is a risk. We want you to know this risk. But I know if I teach you how to do it properly and we follow the process, you're going to have a good experience. If you assume things, I know there's one single little thing that you're going to miss. And then when it lands Costa Rica, you're going to have a fine or your shipping is going to stuck in customs for several months, which that's a horrible experience for anybody who is looking to start in a new country.
So, right. And I gotta say this is very important because if you've watched any of my videos, I'm full transparency. I like you to see both sides and the truth of what's going on. And so the reason why I invited Pablo on my show is because one of the things that he said, sometimes it's not for you, just as he just said it. Sometimes, you want to ship something over here, but if you're educated enough, it's like, oh, it's not worth it. Maybe I'll buy a car here. Because when I look on Facebook forums and different things, I asked Pablo a question. I said, hey, somebody just said that, if you bring your car, you can just stuff it with a whole bunch of stuff. And I asked you about that, and you said that's probably not a good idea if you just take your car and you fill it with a whole bunch of things that you want to bring from your house. Why is that?
Okay, there is a lot of information online, but you have to remember lots, I would say 95% of the information you read from somebody, a blogger or another expat, it's personal opinion based on their experience.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm not saying they're lying. It's just one event that happens to somebody at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens? I mean, we manage about 66 to 70 shipments a month,
Mm-hmm.
every month. What happens when you add all those numbers and this is different for this customer, this other process is different, so everybody is different. What I'm saying, do not believe like it's true or you're true what all other person share as an opinion. Opinions are opinions and facts. And I feel after 60 to 70 shipments a month, we have facts, we have data.
Right.
We know if you fill out a cart full of things, first, there are many shipping companies that are not going to take your shipment.
Yes.
There are many, as a policy, if you, as a policy for these shipping companies, as a policy, they do not allow to have things inside of the vehicle because it's a risk. It is a liability for this company. If you fill out an automobile, you put a microwave, you put your clothing, you put many things, the vehicle gets oftentimes parked at a port for a week or two before it gets loaded into a vessel. And that week at a port, somebody could jump the fence, break the window, and steal your microwave.
Right.
It depends on where you are. Maybe you live in a city where there is no crime, or maybe, but these companies know this is a liability. So what they offer the service of just shipping the vehicle alone, and they will not allow any other thing in the vehicle. Now, there are some other options. There is a small vessel company based in Tampa that they will allow things in the cars because the way of shipment that they do is they get their containers, they put your vehicle inside of a container. They usually have 2 or 3 vehicles, depending on the size of the vehicle, or 2 vehicles and a motorcycle. They close it, they know it's secure, and they allow you, they charge an extra fee for this. They allow you to fill in the car, and that way it's secure, and they use it. It's only one small vessel line that I know. And also, if you have your own exclusive container, you can do whatever you want with the space of your own exclusive container. But for the most part, 90% of the times, it's not allowed. Right. So it depends, and everybody's different. This is why I suggest to have a consultation call, look for the expert advice. We're happy to provide that as well.
So that's the reason why that you need to do things, have a free consultation call so that you can actually, get personalized and figure out what is actually for you. Don't just take generic advice because you might end up getting stuck at ports or paying a lot of money that you really don't need to. So thank you for your time. Is there anything you want to say?
No, I just want to say we do these free consultation calls. One thing I wanted to share is this is not for everybody, and this is what we share on these calls. I want to share advice. I want to give you reasons to think this has some risk, and if I give you good advice and you don't use our service, that's okay. Because I know you as a customer are gonna appreciate that, and just with the consultation call, you're gonna go give me a good review for the consultation call. That's gonna be good for our business. Right. But if you end up using our service, we'll have a process to make this as smooth as possible and to minimize all these different risks. So it's a win-win for you as a consumer. It's a win-win for me as a company, as a business owner, to have good feedback. And at the end of the day, if you hire the service and you're not pleased with the service, it doesn't do any good for our business. We want to have customers that really understand what they're doing and that really have the expectations clear and set. And I think this is unlike many other business people. Yeah, you just want your money. True. And I'm not just about money. I think a business is about growing year after year, and this is part of our legacy.
And I think that's awesome. And so I'll have more information at the link below. So go down below, click on the link, and I'll show you how to get in contact. All right, I'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye. Now that you know more about shipping, now check this video out so you can avoid some things that really starts to make Costa Rica suck if you start doing them. See you on the other side.